And before she can grab it, it's already too late. Her back bumps into the zombie's arm, alerting him of her presence. It screams at her as it's about to attack, and just then, memories of Sachin's words flood her mind. He told her that his resources are limited, so he can't keep her around just because she's pretty. She has to find a crystal core in a monster's head that will give her abilities similar to the ones he has. If she can't do that, then he won't allow useless people to stay around him. That thought triggers a reaction out of her, and she goes on the offensive. Before the zombie can take her out, with the heel of her shoe, she stabs her leg straight into the zombie's eye, so hard that the other side pops out at the back of his head. The zombie stops moving, and she tries to pull her leg back, but it suddenly grabs her ankle, forcing her to stab its face a few more times before it finally falls to the ground. Then she grabs an axe from elsewhere in the room. It's a shame that Sachin wasn't here to see her, proving that she's not useless, but now she can check to see if it has a crystal core in its head. Back at the engineering university, Bai Chang and Lua Fang took Sachin's advice and started organizing the students to evacuate. Bang even contacted her brother, Bing, and asked him to bring his troops to join them and ensure the students' safety. With that taken care of, Sachin returns to the snake in the school's reptile laboratory and continues to pay special attention to it. After some time has passed, the creature starts its mutation and begins to grow in size. Sachin watches it with interest, wondering just how far it can mutate. The creature stares right back at him in contempt. To help with its growth, Sachin even prepared a large bucket of water for it so it could grow faster. As soon as he drops the water bucket on the ground, the snake slithers in. It seems like it already knows that it needs to get into the water to complete its mutation, which saves him the trouble of trying to force it in. As soon as its body touches the water, it starts to grow into a large and terrifying beast with a dragon head and a large scaly body. Sachin watches as it violently beats against the sides of the bucket, until finally, the bucket explodes, spreading the water all over the room and revealing the evolved form of the former snake. It had such massive growth from just the initial mutation, and all of this came from a simple bucket of water. If he had decided to wait until the flood came, then this would have been a much greater disaster. Now that the beast has grown up, Sachin summons one of his swords and makes it an offer. If it chooses to submit to him, then he might consider keeping it as a pet. The monster is having none of that and tries to escape through the window before Sachin can catch it. It looks like it really did develop some intelligence and knows that it won't be able to properly fight against Sachin, especially in that closed-off room. It breaks through the window out into the campus courtyard, and Sachin jumps out right behind it. Then it tries to slither away and save itself, but it's not even close to fast enough to escape the sword of our protagonist. Sachin drops from the sky and stabs the sword onto the creature's scaly skin, but to his surprise, the sword snaps in half. It looks like the scales are much harder than he thought. The snake turns and roars at Sachin, and he realizes that if blades don't work on it, then he's just going to have to use his fist to smash it to death. He delivers the first punch to the beast's head, sending it crashing to the ground, but it retaliates by wrapping its body around him, trying to choke him out by entangling him. But Sachin realizes that the attack is actually just a feint, and the creature's true goal is completely different. It opens its wide-fanged mouth and prepares to bite down on our protagonist. Meanwhile, back with the survivors, Bai Chang can't help but look towards the campus. Her brother notices her constantly staring back and teases her about not wanting to part with the handsome man named Sachin. She tells him that if he doesn't speak, no one will treat him like a mute, and it's obvious that she wants him to stop talking. That catches Bing's attention, and he realizes that his sister must really like this guy. But that doesn't change the fact that if he stays on campus, then he's doomed. Bai Chang is sure that he won't die. From the moment that she first saw Sachin, she felt that he was very strong. He had a deep gaze and a mysterious aura about him, which made him look like a monster. Because of this, she's sure that he will survive, and they will definitely meet again. Meanwhile, Sachin easily breaks out from the snake's trap and grips it by the throat. There's no way such an easy thing would be able to trap him when he has grown so strong. He uses his foot to push down on the snake's body and frees himself, while the snake struggles to free itself from his grip. He has heard that snakes have highly developed nerves, so even if he chops its head off, it should still be able to bite. So, instead of ripping its head off, he rips the entire snake in half along the middle, making sure that it will never be able to bite again. In the remains, he picks up the crystal, and he's eager to see what kind of ability it will give him. Eventually, the heavy rains start, and just like Suchin warned, the city begins to flood. If the extreme heat manages to destroy people's will, then the flood sweeping through the entire world will completely destroy human civilization. Even inland cities like Xanadu could not escape the massive, devastating flood, and everything ended up being swept underwater. The engineering university's low terrain left only tall buildings like the administrative building above water. Meanwhile, Suchin is also not safe from the rising floodwaters and gets immersed in the water. Thankfully, after absorbing the Golden King Snake's core, it grants him the ability to move and breathe freely underwater. Because of that, his body has undergone even more changes and has become stronger. After coming in contact with the water, his body developed tiny scales, and his strength improved massive amounts. On top of that, his eyes have become more sensitive to light, and a protective membrane has formed in front of them. Even though he's not using his nose or mouth to breathe, he isn't suffocating underwater, and it feels like he's breathing through his skin. All of these are abilities that he borrowed from the Golden King Snake. Although it's not a water manipulation ability, being able to breathe underwater is still very beneficial for him. The flood waters surged from the Green City Hotel area, so swimming upstream against the current is impossible. The current is fierce, and the debris in the water is like hidden debris. All of this is hindering him from making it back home to the hotel suite. On top of that, it seems like the volcanic eruption has reached its peak. But because Shanggu is far from the volcano, the sky looks relatively clear. When the massive amount of volcanic ash fills the air and blocks out the sun, the doomsday winter won't be far off. In the face of all these apocalyptic events, human civilization might as well no longer exist. To avoid becoming prey to the creatures evolving through the crisis, it's better to grow stronger and become more powerful so that you can better protect yourself. In his previous life, after the Great Flood, Shanggu saw several powerful factions grow over time.